Imagine spending $700 on a new laptop only to watch it slow to a crawl because your operating system is forcing AI features you never asked for down your throat. That's the reality for millions of Windows 11 users right now. Microsoft has turned what was supposed to be the future of computing into what users are now calling microslop. And it's not just angry internet comments. We're talking about broken core features, privacy nightmares, update disasters, and a company that seems completely tone deaf to the chaos they've created. This is the Windows 11 crisis, and it's worse than you think. Let's start with the most shocking part. Windows 11's fundamental features are literally broken. And I'm not talking about some obscure settings buried in the registry. I'm talking about the Start menu, the taskbar, File Explorer, and the Settings app. You know, the stuff you use every single day. In July 2025, these core system components started crashing, and Microsoft took 4 months to even acknowledge the problem. 4 months! Can you imagine if your car's steering wheel just stopped working and the manufacturer shrugged for a third of a year? The issue stems from something called the XAML framework, which is the foundation that makes Windows 11's interface actually function. When this breaks, you get File Explorer crashes, taskbar glitches that make apps disappear, and performance so sluggish it feels like you're running Windows on a potato. Enterprise users have been screaming about this because it's not just annoying, it's making their employees completely unable to work. And this is still happening as we speak. But wait, it gets worse. Every single month, Microsoft releases updates that are supposed to fix problems. Instead, they create new ones. The January 2026 update, released just weeks ago, broke at least 3 major things. First, computers running version 23H2 with a security feature called System Guard Secure Launch literally couldn't shut down. You'd hit shutdown and your laptop would just sit there draining the battery all night long. Microsoft had to release an emergency out-of-band update to fix it. Second, remote desktop connections completely failed. If you work from home and use remote desktop, or if you're an IT admin managing servers, you were completely locked out. And third, Microsoft Outlook started freezing and crashing for anyone using POP email accounts. The app would open in the background but refuse to actually show up on your screen. The only fix, open Task Manager, kill the Outlook process and restart it every single time. This isn't a minor bug. This is catastrophic failure of basic functionality. And then there's the real villain of this story, Copilot. Microsoft's AI assistant that nobody asked for but everyone is being forced to use. The company has shoved Copilot into Windows 11, Edge browser, File Explorer, Notepad, literally everywhere. And users are furious. When Microsoft posted on social media claiming they heard you wanted Copilot mode at work, the backlash was instant and brutal. One user replied, "No, you heard wrong. Literally no one asked for all this AI. In fact, everyone wants to know how to remove it." Another person wrote, "I find your detachment from reality disturbing." The replies got so bad that Microsoft's Windows boss had to lock comments on his posts. Think about that for a second. A major corporation is getting ratioed so hard on their own promotional content that they have to silence criticism. That's not normal. That's a PR disaster. But here's the kicker. Even Microsoft's own CEO, Satya Nadella, admitted in internal communications that Copilot's integrations with Gmail and Outlook don't really work and are not smart. That's according to a report from The Information in December 2025. The head of the company is basically saying their flagship AI product is garbage, but they're still forcing it on everyone anyway, and it's costing users real money. Microsoft raised the price of their Microsoft 365 personal subscription from $6.99 to $9.99 per month. Why? to cover the cost of mandatory AI features that most people don't want. You're literally paying $3 more every month for bloatware that slows down your computer and invades your privacy. Speaking of privacy, let's talk about Recall. This was supposed to be Windows 11's killer feature, a system that takes screenshots of everything you do, uses OCR to read the text, and makes your entire digital life searchable. Sounds convenient, right? Except security experts immediately pointed out that this creates a massive vulnerability. Sensitive information, passwords, private conversations, all stored in a searchable database on your computer. The backlash was so severe that Microsoft had to delay the feature indefinitely and make it optional. Performance is also tanking. Users report increased boot times, higher memory usage, frequent crashes, and sluggish multitasking. Gaming performance has been hit particularly hard, with Nvidia having to release emergency driver fixes just to keep games playable. All because Windows 11 is constantly running AI processes in the background that you can't fully disable. The community has had enough. Third-party tools like Copilot and Shutdown 10++ have exploded in popularity because they help users strip out Copilot and other unwanted features. There's even a lightweight version of Windows 11 called Tiny 11 that removes all the bloatware, and people are flocking to it. Linux migration is accelerating. People are genuinely considering switching to a completely different operating system because Windows has become that unbearable. And here's what really drives me crazy. Microsoft is using something called continuous innovation to justify this chaos. Instead of releasing one big annual update that's been thoroughly tested, they're now shipping new features every single month. There's no time to breathe, no time to stabilize, just a constant churn of half-baked features that break more than they fix. Reports suggest that 30% of Microsoft's code is now written by AI, and it shows. The quality control has completely collapsed. Users aren't just annoyed. They're losing trust in a company that used to be synonymous with reliable business computing. When your operating system can't even shut down properly, when basic apps crash daily, when you're forced to pay more for features you actively hate, that's not innovation, that's a crisis, and Microsoft seems completely unwilling to change course. The Windows 11 crisis isn't just about bugs or features. It's about a fundamental disconnect between what Microsoft thinks users want and what users actually need. A stable, reliable operating system that just works.